the opportunity. My name is Vastrogen Nyambura Mothoni. And yeah, my about is I'm the first and I'll be the first woman president in Kenya. And I feel like there has been that gap of leadership between in Kenya, such that other countries have already had female presidents, but as for Kenya, we are yet to have one, and I believe I'm the best fit for that. But before that, I think we should address. We have a lot of things that we should address as a country. But what hurts me most, and something that you're very vocal about, and I'm very vocal about today, and at this particular time, is the case of femicide that we've had in Kenya for the past like 3 months. Okay, for the past few years, but it has been quite prevalent within the last 3 months. And as you've said, also we have Aoko who's missing. We don't have actual information of where she is at the moment, her condition, is she alive or not? But you're so hopeful. I'm very hopeful that she is. But these are the discrepancies that you're saying as Kenyans we should address, because as much as there is patriarchy in this country and in Africa, and I don't want to sound like bitter feminists as you refer to them, but I feel like women are quite underlooked and their rights are not actually taken into consideration. And we can also raise the discussion of, you have female leaders. Why are those female leaders not channeling their energies to support women? Like the other day, I'm in Nairobi. Wananitext, wananitumia sijui nini. And I'm like, bro, wait a minute. There are a lot of things that you can address, and you're in a position to address as our women rep right now. But in like kwa hiyo list tu umeona that is the only thing you can address, and that's why I've seen this debate on X, people saying that, we don't actually deserve having that woman rep position. We don't even need women, because actually the cabal of women that we have in the parliament and in politics right now, Esther Passaris, Karen Nyambo, Susan Keheka, the women rep from Moranga, where I come from, Betty Maina, Sabina Chege, and a lot more of women have actually created a very bad picture for women in governance. But we are here to say that there are other women who are capable and able to deliver and make sure that the rights of the less privileged, the vulnerable, that is women, children, and people living with disabilities, are taken into consideration. Our bills and rights are discussed in Parliament, such that we may have equal or proportional support from the government, So these are the things that we should address, and I feel like men, you should really take a stand in this. We really appreciate you and respect you. So if we have this inclusive debate as men and women of this great country, we can now find solutions to that, policies to that, and let's say, okay, which arms are failing us? Because even if we trust the people like the internal security, the police, the DCI, and everything, we have seen them let us down. We saw what happened during Maandamano time. We have seen all the cases that have been reported. Hakuna action tunaona PR for a few days, sijui fulani ameshikwa, ametoroka jela, and a lot more of stories that are not giving. We have victims, we have children who are left without parents, we have parents who are left without daughters, and there is no substance that has been or information that has been given to these people, the victims of those cases. We also have a lot of other issues we can address, but I felt like for today, that's something that I'd really like to challenge ourselves with. Thank you so much.
Nyambura, eye-opening.
Again, I'm having a burning reply.
This is Ngendo.
Yes, please.
Proceed.
Thank you, Nyambura. I would want to respond to you. Thank you for what you've articulated. But I also think, as a fellow woman, Kenya is a very good country in the sense that we've been given equal opportunities with men. What we need is to strengthen our political networks and alliances. We can't campaign on the card of we have not been represented as it's supposed to be. I think if you develop a strong personal brand and public presence, you'll be in a position to, secure your position. It is not about a woman, it's not about a man. As I've seen in Kenya, if you are able to, engage in community engagements and grassroots mobilization, developing you. Enda, nafanya kazi. Now, if you are able, sorry for that. Go to daddy. If you are able to articulate yourself well, in Kenya we have a platform that allows us to compete in a similar way with men. I wouldn't wish as a woman, as your fellow woman, to be seen as, a weaker person who should be given more privilege than men, because I can't compete with them on the same platform. I feel that if we strengthen our political networks and alliances, that is building alliances with both male and female leaders, it will help us access critical political networks. Thus, you can be able to work across party lines and issue mutual interest and increase our influence. Yeah, we should also engage vizuri sana with mentors and sponsors, because you can greatly benefit from mentors and sponsors, people who've been fair and have successfully navigated through the Kenyan political systems. We shouldn't go there with a gender card. I'm the kind that believes that we have equal opportunities. We have a population that understands that. We've seen women compete with men on various political positions, and women emerging as winners. So swinging the gender card does not work. In Kenya, I feel if you have really sold yourself out there, if you've really been involved with community work and grassroots work, you've focused on issue-based politics. Yeah, issue-based. Yeah, you develop a policy-driven platform where people can engage with you, know you, and you offer practical solutions. Let's not swing the gender card. Let us go as I'm so and so. I focus on 1, 2, 3. I'm seeking your support in 1, 2, 3. We have equal platforms, and we are up to the task. Yeah, I wouldn't wish to be, seen as a lesser person because I'm a woman. We have equal capabilities with men. We've been given the same platform, and I want to insist that let us have an issue-based addresses for us to be able to build our reputation, build a footing, and be able now to compete well with, with men, because Kenya is good. Thank you.
Nyendo, thank you so much. I beg to differ. And it's okay to have different opinions, because why should we agree? And you're different. My point is, I'm not singing the gender card here. My point is, yes, I individually addressed femicide, and femicide is something that has been happening to women. Can you give us do you have a number that you can tell us? Okay, I've raised, we've had like 97 reported cases of femicide in the past 3 months. Okay, and that is a number that has been accounted for. Can you give us the statistics of male cases that has happened? And for these 97 cases for women, it's cases that have been reported. What about cases which have not been reported? I'm not talking politically here. Yes, we all have political ambitions, but my point today was femicide, because there is no way you can say that Kenya has given us equal opportunities, whereas the 2/3 gender rule in parliament and in every workplace has not been achieved. There is no way you can tell us that we have equal opportunities. Just a simple thing that, like, women, the society says that women belong to the kitchen, but when you look at the highly awarded chefs out here are men. So why are you bringing that card? I appreciate your concern, but I believe you're not getting what I'm saying. You're not understanding from my angle. Let me say, femicide is what I was addressing, not political. Ikifika upande ya debe tutapatana hapo na tutajuana. But my point today was, how many femicide cases have we got in the last 3 months? Can you account and give us a number for men who have actually have had the similar experience as women? So from there we can talk, because let me just leave it at that.
Nyambura, I think you have also forgotten something. Many cases, Kenya is African country, and we find that most men are deemed weak if they come out and say, "I've been going through 1, 2, 3, 4 1, 2, 3, 4 things." Yeah, so most men, we have not documented cases of how many men have been pushed to depression by women? How many men have been pushed into suicide by men? How many men have been misused by their partners, by their children, pushed, how many men have been even how do I even put this? I've for the last 3 years or so, I've been getting so many DMs of men who've gone through hell, but they can't come out to talk about it. They always say, "Thank you for saying 1, 2, 3. I'm going through 1, 2, 3." Women, even if a woman is a narcissist, they are in a position to be covered by the other people. So what I feel is we also need to give the same airtime we give to women to come out, the same oxygen we give women's discussions to thrive is the same that should be given to men. I understand that you say you're not talking from a gender card. I'm also not talking from a gender card. I'm a woman like you. What I'm saying is we have equal platforms. Can we also give the same platforms to men such that women are able, bibi akichapwa atakuja andike kesho nimechapwa. Mwanaume akiandika, you will all start pushing him, thrashing him, saying 1, 2, 3 he's weak, sijui what, masculinity, nini nini. Hapana. We are parents. We women are parents. Like for me, I have 2 boys and 1 girl, and we are parents to these men. The same men who traditionally are supposed to be strong, keep to themselves wherever they suffer. Yeah, even if they go through manipulation, nitakuacha, nitafanya 1, 2, 3, usipofanya 1, 2, 3, unasomesha mtu anakufanyia 1, 2, 3. Those are cases that we all know happen. But how many people come to report them? Nobody. We have no systems that have been put in place to ensure that men are are covered. Many men go through psychological and emotional abuse. Many men actually go through sexual violence. Many men are falsely accused, and some of them are even serving jail term over issues of, let's say, you raped 1, 2, 3, and because a woman is seen as a woman, you tend to see that a woman has a reason for committing a crime, but a man has committed a crime, whether he's been found guilty or not. So I think we should not necessarily bring this into how many numbers do you have. We are in a traditional African country setting that many men, despite what hardships they go through, nobody reports them. No one collects the statistics. So let's not swing that card. I'm a fellow woman like you, but I also feel we shouldn't talk of statistics when men have no record of who goes to report. We understand the nature of our traditions and how men are traditionally judged for even articulating their own pain. When a woman, for example, in a matatu does not have 20 shillings to pay for their own bus fare, how many men rise to pay for that woman's fare? Many. If a man goes through the same thing, who pays? No one. The men are kicked out of those matatus. We need to stop seeing us as weak. We need to start defending ourselves and also defending the men who are not in a position to defend themselves. I'm very passionate about men and I can talk about this the entire night. So thank you, and let me not say much about it more.
I understand that we come from the same place,
Yeah.
and there is a saying that we have. It says "Diakagotaya wakine." Today, a body has been retrieved at around Langata Cemetery of a woman who amechemshwa nini. You've had that case. So what are you trying to justify? Are you being a pickmisha saying that because okay, it happens to women so you're also saying it also happens to men, it's only that they don't report?
No. It's
let's
not justifying.
uh-huh.
It's not justifying, sweetheart. It's not justifying. What I'm saying is
Mhm.
we have been having issues that men go through the same issues, but statistics have not been brought out since men don't report. As much as, and I have said time and I'm not anti-feminist because I'm also a woman. What I'm saying is we need not make it appear like men
Why are you coming out and saying it also happens
allow me to jump in here. I have heard you. I have heard you.
Yes,
Maybe is
it
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 German?
has a German origin.
I've heard you loud and clear. I've heard you loud and clear. And what I really wanted to take out of this, the first thing that I agree. I hear you totally. I mean, the whole agenda of of gender. The topic of who do we think should be interior, the next interior minister, the next interior cabinet secretary. But certainly, V, it's unacceptable. The kind of human rights abuses we're talking about are in the 21st century just not acceptable in a modern society in this day and age. It is completely unacceptable. Ngendo also makes an important point. Men are suffering, depressed, battered, especially in some of the all very sad and all unacceptable. Too many. The killing of a man is, an assault on the entire society. Men carry the name, the identity, everything. You kill a man, you kill the livelihood of a society. Most are, breadwinners and what have you. So we absolutely need to have respect for life. We absolutely need to raise the bar on leadership across the board. Definitely. It might sound theoretical, but we demand good leadership from our deputy president, from our president, from CSs, from PSs, from elected leaders, from nominated leaders, from even professional journalists. There's so much disinformation and so many lies. Don't come and lie to us. Come and present accurate information and implement and respect and uphold the Constitution as per Article 3.1. Ken, let me throw it back to you so that you can start to wind down and close. It's way after 10 o'clock. And then we can say thank you to all of our friends that have come here. And I think today's was an even better space than last Sunday. It's hard to describe that because last Sunday's was big. But I think this thing is turning out to be like a Sunday ritual. Thanks. Sunday ritual. Thanks.
Benji, if there's anything I understand. Other day.
I love how they disagreed respectfully.
Yes.
I don't know about you, Ken, but me, I'm one of those guys, man. Like I just girls, you guys.
Back you
One
Kambani.
day, coffee on me,
Back
the
you
both of
back
you.
back you
Coffee on
Kambani.
me.
Back you Kambani. Hawezi sema hiyo jina. I can't also say it. But thank you so much, Nyambura.
Nimeshindwa,
And
but coffee on
Ngendo,
me, both of you girls.
today you've been the
And I keep
star.
my word. This is a broadcast.
Yeah,
Asante.
you've been the star of the space tonight. So thank you very much. There's a lady who's been asking for the mic, Benji. I have to give Beatrice Caritha, if I'm not wrong. That's the pronunciation. You've been asking for the mic. Probably take a minute or two and reflect on our topic of the day, if you could.
Okay. Hi, my name is Beatrice Carida. I come from Meru. I'm a professional in the space of procurement, and I've also done a bit of politics because I went to be a member of parliament in Meru, 2017 and 2022. And from an experience perspective, I've sat in a board of parastatal that is of commercial nature. I wasn't here initially, but I would just want to highlight one or two issues regarding some of the programs the government is undertaking. I'll specifically talk about public-private partnership. Uh, there's a lot of talk about it, but I feel it is a good way of developing the country because without the finance bill currently, the 2024 finance bill, and also maybe with a lot of loans that the country already undertook for the past regimes. For the country to grow, you must also be able to approach development partners who can partner with the country and invest their own resources. However, I have a challenge. I feel there is a better way of doing things. Specifically, Kenyans do not understand what is public private partnerships. Kenyans are used to tenders, public tenders, restricted tenders, maybe single sourcing. So when a proposal of a PPP is initiated,
Karanda. I'm the only supporter wa William Ruto. Na mimi nawaambia hivi, kama wewe ni mwanaume, haki ya Mungu kuja tu.
So before you even initiate the good investment proposal, it's already being fought. So I feel there's a way the government needs to communicate. The same issue that Avanda highlighted a few minutes ago. Before you even initiate a government program, we have the SHA, we have the way the housing levy was implemented. Let the ministers or the directors in the ministries or the parastatals sell this idea to the public. Let the wananchi own it before it is brought on board. Because many Kenyans don't understand what is PPP. They are thinking it is an airport that is being sold. Yet that is not the case. This is a way of developed countries have partnered with different investors in PPPs, or even the build, operate, transfer that was done on the expressway. But if Kenyans are not involved or they are not properly informed about it, then they will fight it. There is opposition that comes from whatever government is doing. So if things are not, or if programs are not implemented well, then it will never. They can be good proposals, but they are even fought before they are implemented. What I would want to say, I can say this is a very good initiative, but I feel maybe the system has teething problems, and with a bit of time, then all will be streamlined. So I don't want to talk much, but maybe that's what I can say. Communicate better, involve the stakeholders. If a policy is being introduced even in parastatal through the ministry to parliament, let the professionals in that specific field, if it's a bill to deal with finance, let the Chartered Institute of Accountants be also involved so that they can give their views before a bill is brought to parliament. Something around that. Thank you.
Thank you, Beatrice, and I agree with you. Some of these things are really good, but how they are sold to Kenyans is what makes Kenyans reject them. And you mentioned something on PPPs and PIPs, which I like. You know, these are things that we usually say where we work, because I work for the media and I'm not shy to admit that we talk about these things all the time. How the government sells this thing is the problem. And I'm glad the president has admitted that his communication team has failed. Is a we don't the Eurobond, for example, where we were at 8 point, we are at 6.7 of the GDP currently. They brought it down significantly. And this is a fact. This is a fact that once Eurobond was paid, um, the amount of money going out there to pay our bills came down significantly. Apart from that, the exchange dollar and the shilling has maintained oscillating between 28 and 30 for the longest. In fact, when it went down, a lot of us said, iki to 2 weeks, 1 month, it's back to 60. It's never happened. So that has been stabilized. So my point is this: when the government is struggling to pay bills because we don't have money, we don't have a finance bill, and then there are these investors who are coming to say that let's invest, let's help you. The time you cannot get development money, let's help you invest in your country for your own benefit. Because William Ruto is going to leave. If he gets a second term, he's going to leave. Uhuru Kenyatta left. Everyone leaves. But for a generation that is born after 2027 or 2032, who didn't understand the squabbles and the quarrels we had with William Ruto between 22 and 27. For that generation that is now enjoying the expressway, that did have a squabble with SGR, how it was done. The only thing they know is they can get to Mombasa comfortably and back. What are we telling that generation when we are stopping the PIPs and PPPs from investing? My take is this: these guys need to be as clear as day and night whenever they want to engage us with a project. But if there is something that is good for the country, we all need to support it. That's my take. People might disagree. I think JKI and Adani was sold poorly. I think Adani and the energy sector was managed better. I think they should have done it better in terms of communication. But those are my thoughts. So we have a few
Ken,
minutes on the clock. Yes.
Ken, just one sentence. Just
Yes.
one sentence. I was monitoring the numbers as Caritha spoke, Beatrice. I was monitoring the numbers, and you could just see the numbers going down because we've had quite a good listenership this evening. And it's because, like I said, once again, it's easier to bash government, and especially now when things are tough, government is quite unpopular, etc. When you start to push that things are good, people don't want to hear that, so they tune out. I could see the numbers going down. She talks about SHS, social health. The new system having teething problems. That's exactly how I've described it. Is it's teething problems. She talks about PPP, and why I found this so interesting is because as we're just going on air this evening, I saw a tweet by Donald Kipkorir, the lawyer, and he says that he was taking a flight yesterday, and when he got to the airport, because he's a public figure, because a lot of these guys on social media, etc., staff members of Kenya Airports Association were just following him now as he was going to board his plane and begging him to stop the Adani deal. To your credit and to her credit, Beatrice, this thing is so unpopular. It's been so poorly marketed and communicated. People don't even know if there's any good in it. They don't see any good in it. They don't. I mean, so this is the government can only blame itself for this. This has got to change. They have to allow Kenyans under Article 35, freedom of information, to have information, to look at the pros and cons, and then to make decisions that are for the good of the country, not shocked to see the cost estimates had gone up 3 times. And so the whole concept of looting through big ticket items in government, I think is also what got us where we are, where government also became
an opportunity. Kindiki has just been put into office. Will come here and you come with your bazookas and pangas, and everyone will be allowed to say what they want to say, so long as we're straightening our country. So, Brian, a minute and a half. Wilson, a minute and a half. Then we can close the show with Fuamba and no Ngendo. You'll take a minute. Fuamba a minute. Then Benji will close the show. I'll just say goodbye. All right. So, Brian, Wilson, then Fuamba, Ngendo, then Benji.
Yeah, hello. Are you able to hear me?
Loud and
Am I
clear,
not?
Brian.
Oh yeah. So okay, 1.5 minutes. What can a man do in that duration? But I'm up for the challenge. So I feel like hello, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, you proceed. We can hear you.
Oh,
yes.
okay. So there's this thing about the government not being able to communicate, and actually the president has used it, I think, 3 or 4 times, and then everyone here thinks that the problem is communication. If something is good, in Swahili we say chema chajiuza kibaya chajitembeza. And where I feel even sometimes I look at people like Benji, I like what Benji does, but the problem is, and it's something that I feel like it is with us Kenyans. We hear what somebody is saying, we don't take time to really distill. So when somebody comes and tells you chief is a good idea, and then Ken Mijungu says, yes, I've seen it, I've looked at the idea of, and Ken Mijungu, I'm not really attacking you, I'm just trying to paint a picture, I'm trying to be visual here. And some of these people are opinion shapers, so people start believing probably this thing is a good idea. But when you take time more for the premiums and receiving less. And he gave an example. For instance, if you go for dental care, if you have a family, you're only given 2,000 shillings per year. What is 2,000 shillings going to do for you? What is 1,000 shillings going to do for your eye care? And you know what the PS said? The PS said, oh, probably you need to pay for more. So this is not a communication problem. This is a problem of sloganeering, of having some sort of messianic complex. Oh, Kindiki is going to come in. Kindiki is going to help. You know, Rigathi used to be like this, and this is where we get it wrong. Every time we reduce our problems to our tribe or to our opinion shapers or tribal lords, we lack the opportunity of sitting down and listening to what this person is saying. When I it was funny that everybody here thinks affordable housing is something good. And this comes from politicians who are okay, they have money, their families are okay, and then they look around, they're like, oh my God, those people are poor. I think they want houses. Let us go and give them. But there are people who have done studies of, there's a company, it's called Build Design, and you can take your time to go and look at it. And also, I know people who were in the architecture, civil engineers, and etc. So in particular, in 2008, this company went to Kibera. It asked the people, what's your problem? We think your problem is houses. That's what we think. What do you think? Only 15% told them, yes, the problem is housing. And nobody could understand what these people were saying. If you're trying to solve something, it has to be anthropological. It has to be, are these people relating? Are these people going to jump into this idea? Safaricom did not come here and advertise M-Pesa like you think their life depends on it. No, they realized what was happening. People are sending money through money orders. And can we solve this? So, like every time this government comes out and says it's not a communication problem, it is a problem of one, misplaced priorities. And people think that, oh my God, this guy is a visionary person. This guy is going, nothing. Those people in Kibera, their problem is not housing, because I think the president is going to launch the whatever one. He's going to give out 1,000 units. Ken Mijungu and Benji Ndolo. One apartment block is around 14 floors. You don't ask yourself, yes, what happens if there's no electricity for the lifts? And how are they going to get water up there? And so really, is it a housing problem when a high rise, ilivojengwa, and people were given? What did those people do? They rented them out and they went back. So this thing of trying to solve problems using solutions that, for one, some people sat down somewhere, discussed, intellectuals, whoever the economic people were, understand right now there's a council, they come up with things which are so good on paper, but are they pragmatic? Do they make sense? I'm a patient. I go to the hospital. I'm told, oh, you know what? We need to refer you to this other place. I'm like, I'm here. Why can't you treat me here? You're like, no, 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 no. There's this thing called chief. It works on some sort of referral thing. It is not the communication that is the problem. The problem is who is the steward of this thing and who decided that this is how these things are going to be. Oh, you guys are going to pay 6,000 shillings a month. When the PS is, and sometimes I feel like if we, not disdain to any journalist here, but I feel like we need to take time. Before we ask these people questions, we need to first understand it. I'm not saying we corner them, but we put them in like what I see Kinasam Gishuru do. They ask questions, and some of those questions make these people in their response. That's where Kenyans actually see that, oh my God, this thing does not make sense. Anyway, I don't want to take so much time.
Gituku.
Thank you for the
Gituku.
mic.
It's Sam Gituko of Citizen, right?
Yes, it's some Gituko of Citizen.
Yeah.
I think guys can go and check. And Ken Mijungu, I also like what you do, but I was just picking an example which was
You had
relevant
said
to this
Gishuru.
discussion. And,
You had
and
said Gishuru.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah, you said Gishuru. Yeah, so yeah. Thank you very much, and I think we get you, and everyone feels the frustrations of Kenyans. Just that we cannot deal with every issue whenever we have this space. So, but thank you so much. You've also opened our eyes to probably what we were not thinking about. I think Benji, we are 2 minutes past our time, so you could just Ngendo because you guest today also, and then Benji can close for us. But we
Thank you very
appreciate
much, Ken.
every.
Thank,
Yeah.
thank you very much, Ken and Benji. This is a very constructive engagement. I look forward to what's having more of this. But what is important is that we now get rid of the distraction that was the impeachment process of the former deputy president and focus on patriotism in terms of national development. So we look at the ideas that are being advanced right now based on what was the manifesto and the development, or the development that is being implemented against the manifesto that was promised in the campaigns. And for Professor Kindiki, the country expects a lot from him in terms of performance. So less noise and more work. Thank you very much.
Ngendo?
Thank you, Ken, for that. And I think for Professor Kindiki, building a united Kenya is a continuous process. It requires commitment from him, from other government officials, from the civil society, and all of us as Kenyans. And by him promoting inclusion and by him addressing disparities and celebrating diversity, Kenya can create stronger and more cohesive society where all of us will feel connected to a common future. Thank you. The discussion was awesome and looking forward to the next one. By the way, I usually come, just that I don't participate. Thank you and have a pleasant night.
You did well. Karibu kila siku, karibu. And please, these listeners who are saying that we don't allow divergent opinion, they've not been on this space. I don't think they have been on this space to hear what's happening. Benji, you can close for us.
Once again, Ken, it is a great honor and pleasure. I am humbled to close this space. I am humbled because I'm not entitled. I am not an elected anything. I'm just Benji Ndolo. I'm just a patriot. The reason we're here, Ken, we're not here because it's a fundraiser. We're not here because of anything. For many of us, this is our Sunday sermon. We're all here, I believe, because we all love this country. This has been a very useful discussion. I'd just like to say one thing to Professor Kindiki. Kenyans are watching you, sir. Kenyans are watching you, my big brother. Kenyans are watching you to see if you're going to fill your office with mudharakas. Kenyans expect the best, the most. Go and read Article 145 of the Constitution, that whole section on the functions of the Deputy President. Your own friend and boss has given you the onerous privilege of serving the Kenyan people. Like, you are so lucky. Your own friend, that's a true friend. He has said, come, let us lead together. Just imagine. You didn't run to be DP. You had wanted to be DP, finally it has come on your lap. It's a huge responsibility. Perform big time. Avoid pitfalls, reach out to people, shape an agenda, and do well. You can. Yes, you can. You're a pleasant and nice guy. It's just a matter of putting a good agenda together, and actually how wonderful it would be if the president who has been really under siege feels that Kindiki has actually saved me and made life easier. When I was in media school at the Connecticut School of Broadcasting, they gave us a course and they trained us and said, when you go for an interview, usually you go to a CEO, at that level, communications, etc., in media houses, Ken. And they said, what's the one thing you can tell a CEO that will catch his attention and that is in line with your skills? And that is, Mr. CEO or Mr. President, if I come in here, I can make your life easier. You're not there to complicate the boss's life. You're there to carry the burdens and make yourself indispensable and make life easier. This country is yearning, crying out for leadership. It is in not just here online. Kenyans are ready yesterday to be led, to be governed well. They're just ready. There's so many things being bandied around on how corrupt the judiciary is, on how bad things are. Only the leaders, not I, Benji. As we vote, and then maybe we assist going forward, but it is only the two of you leaders up there that can deliver a transformative agenda as per the plan, the manifesto that William Ruto sold to Kenyans. It is him who wrote it and sold it, not me. So don't get mad at me for saying the truth. But you guys can do it. And for us, we can only pray for this country and for our leaders and keep doing our part. Thanks everyone for listening in. I believe, Ken, we can do this again next Sunday. God bless everybody, and let's have a productive week ahead. I'm always available on my Twitter handle. My DMs are open. You have any questions or any requests, anything that I can do that I'm able to do, I will do. God bless you guys. Thank you so much. Asante sana, Ken. God bless you, bro. Cheers.
Benji, Asante Sana, and thank you everyone who's come to the space today. You are a lot of you, and we're glad for all the participants. Next week, we'll open the mics. This is a free space. You speak your mind respectfully. I am not qualified to advise Kithure Kindiki. I got into law school when he was leaving, but he was a good man then. But I can't advise him. The only thing I will say as I close, just one thing. You are very grateful to the president. You said that is the highest honor of your life, to be the deputy president of this country. You didn't run for it, you didn't ask for it, but look at what had to happen. Someone had to go home for you to get to that space. You pledged to assist the president and never to disappoint the president. I wish tonight, Professor Kithure Kindiki, the same reflection, and you would say, I will not disappoint Kenyans. That would be my happiest moment. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you for participating in this space tonight. We do this again next week, Sunday, to that's 8 p.m. all the way to 10:30. Thank you so much for coming and all the speakers. And next week we'll do the same. Asanteni sana. And by the way, I'm planning to do something just on the economy, just on development and economy and all these things that we've been hearing, and this just the state of the economy generally. As soon as I'm ready, probably on Saturday before this show on Sunday, we'll also have it. Have a good night and God bless you. Thank you for coming online tonight.